Hello and welcome. We are back after taking a break for a couple of days. I welcome you all to today's 9 p.m. daily quiz. As you would notice, my camera is off. We will have the next few sessions of the daily quiz without my camera being on since I'm traveling. So please do bear with me. After a few days, we'll be back to our older format. Anyways, I welcome you all to this session where, as you know, we discuss the most important news stories for the day from the prelims examination point of view by converting them into questions which are relevant for the prelims examinations and then asking you these questions. We usually take the questions from the Hindu, the Indian Express, Down to Earth, PIB, and other sources. If you're new here, please do hit the like and the subscribe button before we begin. Let's see what exactly is the first question on your screen. Consider the following statements with regards to small satellite launch vehicles. Number one, ISRO's SSLV is a three-stage launch vehicle configured with three solid propulsion stages. Second, the SSLV can launch satellites weighing up to 50 kg and accommodate multiple satellites. Third, it will take only 72 hours to integrate, unlike the 70 days taken now for a launch vehicle. How many of these are correct? SSLV is a new technology that ISRO has been working on. Recently, ISRO had the third consecutive successful launch of SSLV, and now ISRO has announced we have mastered this technology, so development stage is over. That is why it is in the news. Let's consider these statements. First is true, it is a three-stage launch vehicle, all these being three solid propulsion stages. Second is false. The capacity to launch the satellites is up to 500 kg. 50 will be too less, at least 500 kg. Third is also right. The major advantage is the very short turnaround time. Within 3 days, ISRO will be able to integrate and put the entire vehicle together. Thus, the answer here is B. Two of these are correct. That is the first statement and the third statement. The second statement here is wrong. These are the two, yeah. This is, as I said, only two is correct because second statement is wrong. It will be 500 kg. First and third are correct. It is these articles in the Indian Express newspaper because of which we're asking this question. There are a couple of articles first on the front page of the newspaper, and then later on, the Indian Express has explained this entire incident. Let's move on to the second article then, or the second question rather. Question number two here is on your screen. Consider the following statements with regards to Krishi decision support system. Number one, the platform provides seamless access to comprehensive data, including satellite images, weather information, reservoir storage, groundwater levels, and soil health information. Second, it can be accessed from anywhere at any time. And third, it is a part of digital or public infrastructure for agriculture. How many of these are correct? Now, as you know, the government of India has been launching a lot of new digital infrastructure such as the UPI and making it open for the public to use, like Phone Pay, Paytm, Google Pay. All of them use the UPI infrastructure developed by the government of India. That's a part of digital public infrastructure. So Krishi DSS is also a part of that only. Second and first statements are also true. This is an online portal that will collect data from different sources, allowing the farmers and the researchers in the field of agriculture to make better decisions in the long run. The answer thus here in this case is C. All the three here are correct statements. The Krishi Decision Support System is a very, very important initiative by the government to make it easier for the farmers to plan ahead. This is the article in the Indian Express newspaper. The government has launched the Geospatial Decision Support System for Agriculture. This is the part of digital public infrastructure for agriculture. Moving on to question number three. Which of the following is not true about India AI mission? First, the objective is to develop an AI compute infrastructure comprising 10,000 or more GPUs via partnership between public and private sectors. Second, the AI compute infrastructure will be implemented through a public private partnership with 50% viable gap funding. Third, its nodal ministry is the Ministry of Information or Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And fourth, none of the above. You have to tell which of these is not correct about India AI mission. A few days back, we had another question about India AI mission only. It is again in the news. If you consider all these statements, the first three are absolutely correct. This is the objective of the government. It will include participation from private sector as well. Viability gap funding means the government will also contribute from its side about 50% of it, and this is the nodal industry. The correct answer thus is D. Since we had to choose the incorrect one, only the fourth one is the correct statement here. All the other three are absolutely true. This is the answer. And there was a news in the Indian Express newspaper today that central government is finalizing the tender to procure 1,000 GPUs under the India AI mission. It's a part of 10,370 crore India AI mission to establish a computing capacity of more than 10,000 GPUs by the government of India. Moving on to question number 4. Consider the following statements. Number 1. Two oceans that the Panama Canal connects do not lie at the same elevation, with Pacific slightly lower than the Atlantic. Second, the Panama Canal needs massive amounts of fresh water to facilitate the passage of ships using the system of locks, which is mostly supplied from Lake Gatun using the force of gravity, means no pumps are needed. Third, it is now managed and operated by the US government owned Panama Canal Authority. How many of these are correct? Now, as you know, Panama Canal is one of the most important trade routes in the entire world. It connects two oceans, Pacific and Atlantic. The wrong part here is this. Pacific is actually at a slightly higher altitude. So it's an above altitude as compared to Atlantic. So this is the canal. It connects two main water bodies which are at different levels. So when a ship enters from here to here, you have to change the elevation of the ship. Ship has to either go higher or lower. How do you do that? By pushing in more water so that the level of the ship changes. It's a very complicated structure. It's not just any normal canal. It has to change the elevation of the ship by putting in more water or removing water. Sometimes when the ships are extremely heavy, they have to even remove some of the load so that the ship can be risen up. So first is wrong because Pacific is slightly higher than Atlantic. Second is right. Lot of water has to be supplied. Lot of it goes from Lake Gatun. This is also controversial because fresh water is supplied. This water is used by the nearby population for their drinking purposes also. Third is wrong. It is not owned by the US government. It is Panama government owned only. US government for a very long time had tried to control it. There have been many allegations that US wanted to overthrow Panama government as well to control Panama Canal, but that has not happened. It is Panama government owned only. So first and third are wrong. The answer thus is A. Only one of the three statements here is correct. As you can see here, it is Panama government owned and Pacific is slightly higher in altitude. There's an article in the Indian Express newspaper about how scarce rainfall means lack of water has restricted the passage of ships because due to lack of water, you are not able to push in enough water to increase the level of the ship. There is a step-by-step process of how exactly the ships are able to pass through the Panama Canal. Fifth question. Consider the following statements. Number 1. As the Arctic's permafrost thaws in a warm climate, an enormous amount of toxic ozone is being released into the environment. Second, researchers have conducted experiments in Alaska's Yukon River Basin to determine how quickly trapped ozone is being released from the Arctic's permafrost and how soon an ozone bomb could possibly explode. Third, the ozone content was generally higher in sediment with finer rather than coarser grains. How many of these are correct? Now, there are a lot of dangers related to the melting of permafrost in both Arctic and Atlantic. In Arctic, it is important or it is dangerous because there are a lot of very dangerous gases that are trapped inside that permafrost. Over here, if you look at the three statements, all these are actually wrong. Why? Because all these three have replaced mercury with ozone. So if you replace the word ozone with mercury, all these three will become correct. It is said that Arctic is sitting on a mercury bomb with a lot of mercury being trapped into the permafrost. And with the permafrost melting now, a lot of mercury might come into the atmosphere. And that is why here, the answer here is D. None of these three are correct. So again, toxic amount of or large amount of toxic mercury bomb that we are talking about, and it is mercury content. So in all the three, when you replace ozone with mercury, all these three become correct. The answer thus in this case will be D. None of the three is correct. This is an article from the Down to Earth magazine that we have taken, but how max or toxic mercury trapped in Arctic's permafrost is leaking into the environment now due to global warming. To end the session again, we have an important infographic for all of you. This time around, I wanted to show you an update on the government's very, very ambitious mission to bring tapped water into all the households. This is as updated information as you can get from anywhere. Tapped water supply in different households across the country has been improving at a very rapid pace. There are some states that have achieved 100% of these taps. Now, your home for today is look at this map. Look at this dark blue color which claims 100% tap water connection. Tell me from the map in the comment section which are these states. Just identify these states which claim to have 100% tapped water now. Just tell me in the comment section which are these states that we are talking about so that we can know if you are able to identify these states or not. The government has given exact numbers also. 77.98 rural households have access to tap water now. This brings me to the end of this session. If you're new here, do hit the like and the subscribe button. I highly appreciate that. I'll see you tomorrow for the next session. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Jai Hind.